This was a mistake, and I must take all actions to avoid such a thing in the future.
A royal gesture can capture people's attention. It's not just the tiaras or titles, it's how one moment can create a buzz in the news. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, was offered a lavish gift by a Saudi prince, everyone wondered how she would respond. The gift was not just any item, it was the Rose of Jeddah, a stunning pink diamond necklace worth over £2 million. The centerpiece was a 20-carat gem surrounded by delicate white gold and smaller diamonds. Royal insiders talked about when the velvet box was opened and the necklace sparkled under the lights of a diplomatic event. What happened next was remarkable. Catherine's response was more than polite. It showed wisdom and diplomacy. She acknowledged the gift with respect, which impressed the Saudi prince and amazed others watching. Instead of rejecting the Rose of Jeddah, Catherine accepted a simpler gift. A hand-woven silk shawl dyed with natural indigo and decorated with traditional Saudi designs. Surprisingly, she also sent the prince a gift, a custom set of sterling silver cufflinks made in London, engraved with Celtic knots, representing unity and eternity. These gestures carried a strong message, showing that real diplomacy is about making connections, not just exchanging wealth. Let's explore the whole story, from the grand offer to the meaningful exchange, and see why Catherine's actions had a substantial impact. The gift, a symbol of opulence. To understand Catherine's decision, we must look at the gift itself. The Rose of Jeddah was not just jewelry, it was a symbol. Pink diamonds are among the rarest gemstones on Earth, and this one was flawless from Australia's Argyle mine. Its soft pink color sparkled like a desert sunset. The necklace, designed by a famous jeweler in Paris, had intricate patterns inspired by Saudi architecture, like arches and stars. Each diamond was carefully placed to show the kingdom's wealth. People close to the Saudi royal family said it honored Catherine's grace and the growing relationship between the UK and Saudi Arabia. However, gifts like this have deeper meanings. In Saudi culture, giving lavish presents shows hospitality and status. Leaders in the kingdom have a tradition of providing expensive jewelry to foreign leaders, from Queen Elizabeth II's diamond necklaces to Diana's sapphire set. For the prince, giving the Rose of Jeddah was a sign of respect and a way to strengthen ties with the British royal family. However, accepting such a gift could also suggest an obligation, a quiet expectation to return the favor in diplomacy. The situation was serious for Catherine, soon to be a queen consort. Royal rules, updated in 2003, warn against accepting extravagant gifts. The advice is to consider the giver's intentions and how the public might see it. Catherine's role as a modern royal added more pressure. She is not just a symbol, but a global figure whose actions are closely watched. Accepting a $2 million necklace could lead to criticism, mainly because of Saudi Arabia's complicated human rights history. The world was paying attention, and Catherine understood this. Her choice was not just about the necklace, but about handling a delicate diplomatic situation with care. The moment, a masterclass in diplomacy. When the Rose of Jeddah was unveiled, the atmosphere in the elegant reception hall changed. Crystal chandeliers lit up the room, and the soft murmurs of the gathered dignitaries faded as the Saudi prince smiled and handed a velvet box to Catherine. The necklace featured a pink diamond centerpiece that sparkled, showcasing wealth and prestige. However, Catherine, dressed in a tailored emerald gown, remained composed. She responded with skillful diplomacy, turning a potential refusal into a celebration of shared values. It was a moment that royal watchers would analyze for years, a refusal that felt warm and welcoming. Catherine skillfully leaned towards the prince with a warm, genuine expression as she admired the necklace. "This is truly exquisite," she said softly but clearly, showing sincerity. "The craftsmanship is remarkable, but what touches me most is the spirit of your country's traditions. I'd be honored to accept a gift that reflects that heritage." Her deliberate words honored the prince's generosity, while shifting the focus from material value to cultural meaning. The room seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. The prince, experienced in diplomacy, recognized her intent right away. He nodded and signaled to an aide, who then brought out another gift, a hand-woven silk shawl from Al-Asa. Its deep indigo threads showcased delicate palm fronds and desert roses. This shawl was a meaningful piece of Saudi Arabia's culture, crafted by local artisans who told stories through their work. Catherine's face brightened as she felt the fabric, showing her gratitude for how she held it close. "This is beautiful," she said. "It means so much to carry a piece of your heritage." Later, she wore the shawl at a private palace event, quietly acknowledging the prince's thoughtfulness. Catherine's choice showcased her deep understanding of the moment. If she had bluntly refused the gift, it could have been seen as disrespectful, risking a cooling of UK-Saudi relations at a time when trade and energy partnerships needed attention. By praising the Rose of Jeddah but accepting the shawl, she acknowledged the prince's gesture without being tied to the implications of a $2 million gift. Her move was strategic, rooted in royal protocol and her emotional intelligence. She knew the world was watching, not only the diplomats in the room, but also a global audience on social media, eager to analyze every detail. What made the moment even more impactful was its authenticity. Catherine's warmth was genuine. It reflected the same empathy she shows when comforting a child at a charity event or listening to a world leader. This sincerity bridged the gap between formal protocol and human connection, making the prince feel respected rather than rejected. Royal insiders later said he praised her tact, describing her as a true ambassador. In that brief exchange, Catherine didn't just handle a diplomatic challenge. She created a moment of mutual respect that would resonate well beyond the palace. The reciprocity, a gift of unity. Catherine's story continues after she accepts the silk shawl. In return, she sends the Saudi prince a meaningful gift, a pair of sterling silver cufflinks from a well-known jeweler in London's Hatton Garden. These cufflinks are more than just accessories, they symbolize a connection. Each one has a Celtic knot engraved, representing unity and friendship. The design was chosen to match the cultural significance of the shawl, creating a nice balance between their gifts. The craftsmanship of the cufflinks tells another story. Skilled artisans, whose families have worked with silver for generations, hand-polished them to a soft shine. The intricate Celtic knot reflected Britain's rich history and enduring spirit. Accompanying the cufflinks was a handwritten note from Catherine expressing her gratitude for the prince's hospitality and her hope for friendship between their countries. This touched and moved the prince deeply, showing she cared beyond what was expected. In diplomacy, giving gifts is both courteous and strategic. Catherine's choice of cufflinks followed royal guidelines for thoughtful, modest gifts, avoiding any sense of imbalance or obligation. Their value was in their meaning, which matched the shawl's cultural importance. This gesture highlighted British craftsmanship, promoting the UK's creative heritage globally. Observers noted how the simple cufflinks carried a quiet power, like Catherine herself. Not flashy, but impactful. The public took notice. On X, people praised her elegant reciprocity, with one user calling the cufflinks a masterstroke of soft power. This exchange became a topic of discussion, with analysts impressed by how Catherine turned a potential mistake into a celebration of shared values. The prince was reportedly pleased and later wore the cufflinks as a sign of their new bond. This was more than just a gift. It was a bridge built with care and respect, showing that small gestures can leave a lasting impact. Why she refused, a deeper look. Catherine, Princess of Wales, turned down the Rose of Jeddah, a $2 million pink diamond necklace. Her decision reflects her values, royal rules, and awareness of public opinion. She wants to stay relatable by avoiding extravagant items, especially during tough economic times. Accepting such an expensive gift might make her appear disconnected from everyday people. Royal guidelines from 2003 advise caution with lavish gifts, particularly from countries like Saudi Arabia. Accepting the necklace could imply a political obligation, which might complicate relationships between the UK and Saudi Arabia. By refusing the necklace, Catherine helps maintain the monarchy's neutrality on political matters. Catherine also understands the global context, including Saudi Arabia's controversial human rights record. Accepting the necklace could have led to negative media coverage. She avoided potential backlash and strengthened her image as a thoughtful royal by saying no. On a personal level, Catherine values authenticity, shown through her parenting and charity work. Instead of the necklace, she accepted a hand-woven shawl, which reflects her appreciation for cultural meaning. Her refusal was not just about avoiding a mistake, but also about fulfilling her role in connecting nations. She made this choice with warmth, aiming to do what is right for her family and the world watching her. The world's reaction, a global conversation. Catherine's diplomatic skills impressed people worldwide, creating a strong reaction. From London's busy newsrooms to cafes in Riyadh, her refusal of the Rose of Jeddah and the cultural gifts she exchanged sparked conversations everywhere. British tabloids featured headlines like "Catherine's Classy Snub" and "A Lesson in Royal Grace," while broadsheets such as The Times praised her as the Queen of Soft Power. In Saudi Arabia, media outlets recognized her respect for their culture, with Al Riyadh calling her acceptance of the shawl a nod to our artisan's legacy. This story connected royal fans, diplomats, and everyday people in admiration. Social media also buzzed with activity. On X, hashtags like #royal diplomacy, #Catherine class, and #shawl over diamonds trended for days, gathering millions of views. Users shared graphics of the shawl's patterns and speculated about the cufflinks' Celtic knots. One popular post said, "Catherine didn't just say no to a diamond, she built a bridge between nations. That's royalty done right." A Saudi fashion blogger posted a video analyzing the shawl's craftsmanship, which received thousands of likes for emphasizing its cultural importance. The online chatter was about more than just gifts. It highlighted mutual respect in our often divided world. Experts analyzed Catherine's actions closely. Diplomacy scholars saw her as an example of managing cultural nuances. Dr. Aisha Al-Mansouri, a political analyst from Riyadh, noted that, by choosing the shawl, Catherine elevated Saudi Arabia's cultural narrative, aligning with the kingdom's Vision 2030 to showcase its heritage. In the UK, a royal historian, Professor James Hartley, praised her thoughtful gift. The cufflinks were a masterstroke, simple, meaningful, and perfectly aligned with British values of understated elegance. Analysts compared her approach to past royal gift exchanges, like Queen Victoria's with Ottoman sultans, but argued that Catherine's method was more modern, influenced by social media's constant scrutiny. This moment also drew comparisons to other royal gift controversies. People often mention Diana's acceptance of a sapphire suite from Crown Prince Fahd in 1981. However, commentators highlighted the different times. Diana faced less public scrutiny, while Catherine operates in a digital age where every choice is analyzed online. Unlike Sophie, Countess of Wessex, who faced criticism over Bahrain's jewels in 2012, her refusal was seen as a smart move to avoid backlash. What set Catherine apart was her ability to turn a potential misstep into a success. By accepting the shawl and giving cufflinks in return, she created a message of unity that resonated worldwide. The response to her actions was emotional. Stories surfaced about British and Saudi citizens exchanging small cultural gifts, inspired by Catherine. A teacher in London shared that her students sent handmade cards to a Saudi classroom, receiving woven bookmarks back. These small exchanges, triggered by a royal moment, showed the more profound impact of the event. Catherine didn't just handle a diplomatic challenge, she inspired connections, proving that even small gestures can matter the most. The legacy, a monarchy evolving. Catherine's refusal of the Rose of Jeddah was a crucial moment for modern royalty. It showed her diplomatic skills with elegance. Instead of accepting a 2 million diamond necklace, she chose a hand-woven silk shawl and gifted sterling silver cufflinks with Celtic knot designs. This decision highlighted her respect for cultural values and mutual appreciation. Her choices improved UK-Saudi relations and resonated with the public, earning her the nickname, the Queen of Soft Power. Social media buzzed with heartfelt sketches of the shawl, showcasing her authenticity in a world focused on appearances. Catherine's actions signal a change in the monarchy, where connection matters more than luxury. She honored Saudi traditions while highlighting British craft and turned diplomacy into a meaningful conversation. This shift shows her strength as a principled leader and sets a positive example for future royals like Charlotte and George. Ultimately, Catherine's choices remind us that true grace comes from values and quiet leadership. What do you think of her diplomatic achievement as she leads the monarchy toward a future that values connection over wealth? Did the shawl and cufflinks impress you, or did her tact stand out? Share your thoughts below.